Today, I want to explore the Claude and Canva connector. I'm going to explore it in Claude Cowork, but know that you can also set up the Canva connector with Claude in Claude Code. And then you can directly in desktop or in Claude Code use Claude to actually change, edit Canva designs. So you can see here, Canva has created a Claude connector so you can actually edit your Canva designs directly from Claude. So why I'm looking at this week is because I created this digital product called the Sovereign Business Codex that I'm going to be selling. And in order to set up a listing and sell it on Etsy, I needed to create these assets in Canva to give a description that is interesting and engaging. And I was pretty happy with what Canva did. But I was wondering, hey, can I get Claude Cowork to do this for me? And let's take a look at what that would look like. So the first thing you need to do, of course, is have the Claude desktop app in order to use Cowork. You can access chat, Cowork, and code through the desktop app. And in order to use Cowork, you need a basic paying Claude plan always, especially if you want to use connectors, plugins, skills, that's where you need to be. Now, coming in here, the first thing, we want to make sure we're in Cowork, and then we want to make sure we are connected to Canva. So we go to Customize in the left-hand menu, and there we go to Connectors. And you can see I already have connectors set up, Canva, GitHub, Gmail, Google Calendar, and Supabase. And I could even connect Appify, Drive, Stripe. But let's say I don't have it set up, I would search it here, Canva, and I would come to Canva. I can see all the permissions that I have. So read only and then write and delete, which is the most important. And the most important here is editing designs. One limitation is that in Canva, Claude cannot add new pages. So you need to set up your Canva file template in advance, and then you can have Claude edited, but you cannot have it actually add pages to your Canva design, to your Canva files. So once you have Canva set up, you will connect up here. I'm already connected. You will come back to your main chat for Cowork. And now we can get started. Now, this was a 45-minute process for me because this was the first time I was doing it. So we're going to go over what I did, but know that it does take some time in the beginning. It is connecting, it is editing, it is exploring the Canva file. But let's take a look at what I did. And it is right here. So I started with a fairly simple prompt. I said, hey, I want you to create your version of these product slides in Etsy by using the copy from this website. I like the copy of this one website that's very similar to the product that I'm selling. Use that and then add it to my Canva deck of 6 pages, make it very close to the original copy, but fit it to my angle for the Sovereign Business Codex report I'm selling on Etsy. I gave it the Canva link to the report. It can actually even look up the report based on just the name of Sovereign Business Codex, but because I do have a few files and this is a test, I gave it the Canva link for that particular report. So it started by looking up that website so we can get the code. One thing I had to do in order for that to happen is give it access to this extension, Claude and Chrome, so you can add it to your Chrome and then Claude can actually read your browser tabs. It can go through the tabs, it can open tabs, it has control of your browser on your behalf. And you can use this in many different ways, but it definitely needs it in order to be able to read the actual website that I'm copying. Of course, if you had already given it the copy that you want, it would do it right away. It's not going to do this extra step that takes longer. Then I looked up my Canva deck. It saw the 6 pages. Now I have the full picture. Let me start adding the adapted copy to page 1. And one thing it's going to do it on its own. There's no preview of what Claude is doing. And then you have to approve it, pushing it to Canva, but there's no preview where you see what it's actually doing. And so it did eventually give me results. I'll show you the results, and it gave me the Canva link, which I have here already. So I'm just going to open it. And here it is, very basic, just white text on each slide. And in fact, the original slides were this small, like it's really hard to see the text. Imagine this was on an actual social media mobile experience. It's tiny. Already I can tell that Claude is not a design expert. It's not thinking ahead of what is the right design for what I'm doing in Canva. And this is where it has a limitation that I have to be very clear with. It did a really good job of extracting the text, but I need the text to be bigger the way it is here at 32 instead of the original 19.5 size it came with. So already I should have specified that. We know that it's a limitation. Claude is not great with design. Even Claude design is very hard-headed. And so I asked it, hey, I have a similar listing to my product in Etsy. I got this from Etsy. This is what it looks like. Can you make it more similar to this? And so it went through the journey. This is where I spend most of my time. I gave it the Etsy examples here, the screenshots. I gave it too many. This is something not to do. This is a big disclaimer here. Do not do what I'm doing. Do not give it 7 screenshots. Give it 1 or 2. It will eat up your memory. It's going to have to compact the conversation. It did it automatically. I didn't even have to ask it. It compacted. And then it started working on the actual examples. Again, the designs are horrible. I don't like any of them. Nothing to do with the Etsy example I gave it. There's more down here. I don't like any of these, but for the heck of it, I made a choice. I chose one and it started working, that one. And honestly, let's take a look at what the result was. So my honest opinion, it's nothing like the Etsy version. It's even less feminine than my original designs, which are right here. This is my original design here, which is more, kind of feminine, but also like warm and inviting, I think. And it gave me this dark, very old school way of looking at it, which is the exact opposite of what I wanted it to be. So, not the greatest designer, which leads me to believe that the best use case for this is to have already a template like this one. Like I have this template already. You see, it's very consistent. So, why don't I then, with this template, ask Claude to edit it with new content? So, once a week, I can set up new content to be edited. However, I'm not going to be trusting Claude with design decisions for Canva. Canva is still where I would go to make design decisions because Canva has a lot more resources. So let's take a look at what that would look like. So let's say I wanted to now schedule instead a content generation. I could come here, scheduled in the left menu. I can go to new task. I'll say create with Claude or set up manually. It's like Claude's going to guide you through a setup. Let's do manually. So it will be like weekly Canva content creation, description, create okay, I do recommend to do this manually. I set up a weekly Canva content creation task. Create content in Canva template weekly. Every Monday at 9 a.m. run a research agent on trends in human design and entrepreneurship. Then create 3 to 4 posts for the week that we will add to the Canva template. And I gave it the URL. Why not? Frequency, weekly and Monday 9 a.m. One caveat always with the desktop app, it has to be open for these scheduled tasks to run. So if you're scheduling tasks both with Claude Code and Claude Cowork, the desktop app has to be open. The desktop app has to be open at 9 a.m. on Monday for this to run. Otherwise, it's going to run next time it's open. Save. So I've done it. It's here. Let's take a look. And it's going to tell me to run it. Oh, it's telling me that this task runs during peak hours. So let's change it. So I'm not up at 7 a.m., which ideally I would do it at. So let's do it after 2 p.m. And then you can run it now just to see what it would do. I won't run it this moment, but you should run through it at least once to see if you like what you're getting and iterate on it and make sure you get the right quality of content. And then every Monday going forward, you're going to run it again. It's going to ask you for your approval of the content. And once the content is approved, it's going to push it. All right. So that's how this connector works. There are lots of other great connectors you can explore. Go back to customize and go to connectors. So you can see how easy it is to connect Claude and Canva. One thing to remember is that Claude Superpower is not design. So Canva Superpower is design. Have your design set up in Canva the way you like it, the right type fonts, all of that aesthetic, and then get Claude Code to weekly get it done for you by updating it, researching content, and making that process run smoothly as opposed to you having to do it manually. in the background. So like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think about this particular connector. Have you used it? What other connectors are you using, or what other integrations are you using with Claude that are saving you time? I'd love to hear it.